Hello, everybody, and welcome to InfoSec and the Technology Showcase. This session is specifically around the myth-busting associated with XDR, EDR, and MDR. We will find out what they all mean and what they mean to you. On the panel today, we have Rob Domain, CEO and founder of E2E. We have Adam Gwinnett, CTO and CISO at 923 Limited, and former head of cybersecurity at the Met Police. And finally, we have Sarah Armstrong-Smith, Chief Security Advisor for Microsoft. Welcome, everybody. So we find ourselves in a situation where ransomware is more and more prevalent. We find ourselves in a situation where budgetary cuts are still as challenging as they always used to be. We have cyber skill shortages, and we have many other pressures on the cybersecurity industry. Yet at the same time, we're expected to be able to detect and respond to attacks from criminal organizations who are repentant at attacking indiscriminate targets. And so we have to talk about the technology. So first of all, Sarah, thank you very much for joining us on this panel session. First really interesting question to you. Let's get straight in there. What is the difference between EDR, MDR, and XDR?
Oh, Mark, thank you. What a great question. And I'm absolutely delighted to be with you all today. So I think as an industry, we absolutely love our acronyms, don't we? So let's start with, let's just get rid of the acronyms. What are they? And then we'll get into what's the difference. So first of all, EDR stands for Endpoint Detection and Response. XDR actually stands for Extended Detection and Response, but we can't have another E, so hence why we have the X. And MDR is the Managed Detection and Response. So let's start with EDR, Endpoint Detection and Response. Well, the kind of clues in the name really, and it's really around protecting endpoints. So when we're talking about endpoints, we're talking about devices, potentially servers. And it's the intelligence that goes into, analysing all the threats and signals that come from those endpoints. And in some cases, it may be automatically blocking known threats, or it might be sending signals to analysts for them to take further review and investigation. But the trouble is, and as you mentioned, when we talk about ransomware, we talk about these type of threats, it's very limited to endpoints. So if we're thinking about when we're thinking about these type of threats, it can originate through email, you can have compromised identities. We then have that lateral movement, elevation of privilege that comes associated with ransomware. So actually you need to look beyond just the endpoints, and that's really what the extended detection and response comes into play. So it's that ability to correlate and investigate beyond the endpoint into network servers and all of those things together. And really what we're talking about, it really comes down to time is of the essence. So we're probably seeing that potentially companies have lots of different point solutions. And when you're trying to investigate what's going on and where did the threat originate from, how that elevation and all of those type of things, potentially you then have to pivot across multiple different platforms of services. And that just adds more time and complexity. And this is where the MDR comes into play. So it's trying to make sense of all of these things. So as much as we have a lot of automation, we have a lot of investigative capability, having the managed detection and response gives you the human layer. So we're taking all of those logs, we're taking all the signals, we're taking all of those things together. But potentially it's only when you add the human layer and that ability to investigate, to look at the indicators of compromise, see where the threats came from, where it originated to, what we're seeing, have we seen this before? Is this the start of a campaign, those type of things? That's where we have the human layer. So that in essence is the difference between EDR, XDR and MDR. And I know as we go through, Rob will kind of bring it to life a little bit with how this all kind of interplays with each other. So hopefully that kind of answers the initial question, is what is the difference? And as we love our acronyms, don't we?
Every day is a school day. Thank you, Sarah. That has made it perfectly clear. We can all go home now. Brilliant.